The court was alive with the rhythmic sound of sneakers squeaking against the polished wood, echoing in the early summer air. I felt the sun beating down from the skylights, a constant reminder that this summer was supposed to be mine, my time to shine in basketball. But as I stood there, staring at Coach Thompson, my pulse quickened. His eyes, piercing and no-nonsense, fixed on me like a spotlight revealing my insecurities. "You just don't have what it takes, Mark. I can't have you on this team," he said coldly. My heart sank like a stone in my chest, crushing dreams I had yet to even chase. The jersey I longed for felt impossibly far away. "Come on, coach. Just give me a chance," I pleaded, desperation creeping into my voice. But before his verdict could echo in my mind, a deep, commanding voice rang out from the back of the gym. "What's going on here?" The voice belonged to none other than my Uncle Jack. He stepped into view, a mountain of a man freshly returned from deployment, with the type of confidence that demanded respect. The room fell silent, all eyes on him, curiosity piqued. "I heard someone's ready to give up before the game really starts." "Uncle Jack, you don't understand," I began, but he cut me off with a wave of his calloused hand. "No, I think I do." "And coach, I think you're making a mistake." Tension filled the air as the coach frowned, arms crossed tightly. "And you are?" "I'm Mark's uncle. I'm going to train him, turn this kid into a player you won't regret having on your team." With every breath, I could feel the pulse of uncertainty transform into a flicker of hope. What if he could do it? "Fine, but it's on you," the coach replied, dismissing Jack with a nod. I caught a glimpse of the challenges ahead as my uncle outlined his fierce training regimen, but I felt a chill run down my spine. What secrets did my uncle hold? As the sun began to set, golden light streaked through the gym windows, casting long shadows on the floor. Little did I know, the court wasn't just a place for basketball. It was about to become the battleground for family truths and the journey I didn't know I needed. Before we dive deeper into this journey filled with sweat and revelations, a quick reminder for you, our loyal viewers. YouTube has been removing subscriptions lately, so check if you're still subscribed and drop a like to support our channel. Now, let's see what lies ahead as Uncle Jack unveils his plan. With the gym's echoes still resonating in my ears, I found myself caught between anxious excitement and overwhelming uncertainty. My Uncle Jack stood resolute, a solid figure ready to fight for me, but I had no idea what lay ahead. He dispensed challenges like a drill sergeant, and I could feel the weight of his expectations pressing down on me. "Listen up, Mark. Training starts tomorrow at dawn," he instructed, his eyes fierce pools of determination. "You want that jersey? Then you have to earn it. We've got mornings for stamina, afternoons for drills, and evenings for strategy. No days off." The thought of such a grueling schedule sent shivers down my spine, but my dream clung to me like a lifeline. Internally, I wavered. What if I failed him? Or what if something darker lurked within his past, casting shadows over our training? As I trained under my uncle's watchful eye, I watched him transform from a stern warrior to a mentor whose guidance unearthed my hidden potential. An experience tinged with flashes of his traumatic memories and cryptic remarks about his time in the service. "Mark, when you're on that court, remember, there are no second chances. Just you, your skills, and the game," he would say, before a fleeting look of pain crossed his face, like a specter he tried hard to hide. The camaraderie that forged between us felt special but strained by the hidden anxieties beneath Jack's tough exterior. Then, one day, while practicing my three-pointers, he dropped a bombshell. "You know, there were moments in the field I had to push through more than just physical challenges," he confessed, his voice losing some of its edge. "Sometimes, it was battling my own demons." Those words hung in the air, leaving me burning with questions. What had he faced out there, and how would his past affect our future? The pursuit of my basketball dreams was widening into a journey toward an understanding of my uncle and his sacrifices. As the sun dipped behind the horizon, I knew something significant was unfolding. The court had become more than just wood beneath my sneakers. It was a bridge to confront truths long buried under layers of sweat, struggle, and perhaps revelation. Hang tight, because the best is yet to come as I unveil the secrets and stories that ushered us toward a future where both our fates would intertwine. The next morning arrived, and the sun barely peeked over the horizon when Uncle Jack's voice jolted me awake. "Rise and shine, Mark. Time to earn that jersey." I groaned, dragging myself out of bed, but the anticipation danced in my veins. Today was just the beginning of my metamorphosis. We hit the court hard, each ring of the basketball echoing like a heartbeat in my chest. Jack's training was merciless. "Footwork first," he barked, and I dove into drills that left my legs screaming for mercy. Each time I faltered, I could feel his piercing gaze, urging me to push through the discomfort. "Pain is temporary. Glory is forever," he would shout, igniting a fire within me. But it wasn't just the physical challenges that tested me. As I practiced, glimpses of his past flashed through my mind, fleeting moments where Jack's expressions shifted, revealing a soldier haunted by memories. During breaks, I would catch him staring into the distance, a ghost of the battles he fought shadowing his thoughts. "Uncle Jack, what kind of stuff did you go through?" I hesitantly asked one afternoon, my curiosity burning. He paused, his jaw clenched, a storm brewing behind his eyes. "Mark, some things are better left undiscussed." The way he snapped it felt like a door slamming shut, leaving me with more questions than answers. As the weeks unfolded, the bond between us strengthened with every day spent training. There were moments of laughter, too. Jack shared stories of his own scrappy beginnings in sports, reminding me that champions aren't born. They are forged through adversity, yet each triumph on the court was underscored by a tension I couldn't shake. What was my uncle hiding? Would I uncover the truth before it overshadowed my desire to soar on that basketball court? Just when I thought I had him figured out, another layer of complexity revealed itself. And suddenly, the stakes rose higher than I ever imagined. With every stolen glance of pain in Jack's eyes, I realized we were both fighting battles that might just interlink. And while I looked toward the season ahead, determined to prove myself, I knew deep down that the real game was just beginning. What awaited us around the next corner would test not just my skills, but the very fabric of our relationship. Don't miss the next chapter, where we'll delve into the heart of Uncle Jack's secrets and the turning point that could change everything. The summer sun hung low in the sky as I jogged onto the court, energy coursing through me from the relentless training sessions Uncle Jack had put me through. Each day felt like a mini-epic, a blend of sweat, laughter, and unshakable determination. Yet, with every passing moment, something gnawed at the edge of my mind, a question that loomed larger than my ambitions. What truly haunted my uncle? "All right, Mark, ready for today's challenge?" Jack's voice bellowed over the familiar sounds of bouncing balls and squeaking shoes. There was a fierceness behind his enthusiasm, but I recognized it for what it was, a mask for deeper battles. "Always, Uncle," I shouted back, focusing on the warmth of the court beneath my feet. I was ready to take on anything. We had been training hard for weeks, and each day brought me closer to the player I wanted to be, and to the player Uncle Jack believed I could be. Today, though, felt different. Today was the day I had to confront more than just basketball. As practice kicked off, I found my rhythm easily, but part of me remained distracted. The way Jack moved, the flare in his eyes when he shouted encouragement, the way his posture straightened when he demonstrated a new technique, struck a chord. underneath that tough exterior was a man carrying the weight of experiences unseen, and I was determined to uncover what those were. "Let's start with layups. Make sure to focus on your form," he instructed, his hands guiding my movements, but I couldn't shake off the feeling that my footwork wasn't my only concern. Midway through the practice, after a particularly exhausting drill, I stopped to catch my breath. "Hey, Uncle Jack," I began hesitantly. "Can we talk about, I don't know, your time in the Marines? I mean, what was it really like?" His expression shifted from focused to something more guarded, a wall inching upward. "Mark, this isn't about me. It's about you becoming the best player you can be." "But I need to understand," I pressed on, fueled by a mix of curiosity and the need to connect. "You've been through so much. How can I fight my own battles if I don't know what yours were?" I saw him take a deep breath, the tension evident as he paused, seemingly weighing my questions. "Sometimes the past is hard to talk about," he finally said, his eyes shifting away. "You'll face demons of your own. Just remember, you're not alone." For a fleeting moment, I caught a glimpse of his struggle, a flicker of vulnerability hidden beneath layers of discipline. The refusal to dive deeper left an ache in my chest. I knew there was more to uncover. Before I could say anything further, the coach approached the sidelines. "All right, men, time for scrimmage," he announced, cutting the conversation short and herding us into action. The energy shifted dramatically. Adrenaline surged as we divided into teams, the familiar excitement of competition revitalizing the air. My mind flooded with thoughts of my uncle's words as I took my position on the court. Perhaps today was the day I would shine, not just for myself, but also for him. I wanted him to be proud, to show him that his faith in me was well placed. As the game kicked off, my heart raced in sync with the rhythm of the bouncing ball. I sliced through defenders, eyes laser-focused on the basket. Each move felt like a dance I had been training my whole life to master. I could feel Jack's eyes on me, the crack of his smile resonating with every successful shot I executed. "Miller, don't forget to follow through," he hollered from the sidelines, his words echoing in my mind as I adjusted my form. With each three-pointer I landed, I could almost hear Jack's unspoken pride behind the roar of the court. Yet, the closer I got to playing the game I loved, the more the doubts about Jack's past gnawed at me. I needed to break down those walls, but maybe it wasn't my place to push too hard. The game boiled down to teamwork, a concept that resonated deeper than any individual score. As the final minutes ticked down, the scoreboard echoed our efforts. We were neck and neck. It was time for a final play. Sweat dripped down my brow, but I felt like I was made of fire. Determination gripped my heart as I focused solely on the basket. I wanted to win, not just for myself, but for Uncle Jack, to show him how far I'd come because of him. The ball found itself in my hands. Dribbling down the court, everything else faded. Crowd noise, my anxiety, and even the weight of my uncle's past. It was just me and the rim. In that moment, I wasn't just playing for a jersey. I was playing for the connection, the newfound bond, the battles we battled together. Time slowed as I lippered, feeling weightless, a perfect arc over the defenders. The world held its breath. For a split second, it was as though I could see Uncle Jack's face in the audience, intensity alive in his eyes. And then, swish, the net sang with victory. Cheers erupted around me. I could barely hear myself over the cacophony of celebration, but one sound rang true. Jack's voice, full of pride, cut through it all. "That's it, Mark! That's what I'm talking about!" Joy surged through me, but as exhaustion hit, so did that familiar ache, the yearning for deeper understanding of the man who had become more than a mentor. As teammates hoisted me up, celebrating my victory, I glanced at Jack, but his expression held something deeper, a fleeting shadow that hinted at the storm still raging inside him. As practice ended and we packed our gear, I resolved to have that conversation with him, one that laid the foundation for both of our stories. But just as I opened my mouth to broach the subject, Uncle Jack's phone rang. He stepped away, glancing at the screen. I could read it in his body language, the tension, the way his jaw tightened, the color draining from his face. "Hey, I gotta take this," he said. His back turned to me, tension rippling through his frame as he walked away. The unease returned tenfold as I watched him disappear into the hallway. What was that call about? Who was calling at this hour? As I stood there, amid the fading echoes of celebration and the flood of questions rolling through my mind, I felt a mixture of frustration and confusion. This wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was a window into a complicated world that engulfed us both. A world of hidden truths and unspoken challenges. For the first time, I realized this journey was about to take a turn I hadn't anticipated. Just when I thought I had control over my future in basketball, I understood that Uncle Jack's past might entangle us in ways I'd never expected. What awaited us at that crossroads? I felt a call to adventure, a sense that the very air around me was heavy with secrets waiting to unravel. Stay tuned for the next chapter, where I'll uncover the truth behind that phone call, a revelation that could change everything for both of us. As the sun dipped low, casting a warm glow across the court, I took a moment to catch my breath, adrenaline still coursing through my veins after the excitement of our practice. However, the thrill of winning quickly faded as a sense of urgency replaced it. Uncle Jack was busy on a phone call, pacing the sidelines with an intensity that filled the air with anticipation. I couldn't shake the feeling that something significant was afoot. "Mark!" "Who?" he suddenly shouted, breaking out of his reverie and turning to me. "Get over here!" His voice was firm, but the flicker of concern in his eyes spoke volumes. I jogged over, feeling the weight of what I was about to face pressing down on my shoulders. "What's up, Uncle?" "Listen, I wasn't expecting this call. The past is catching up to me in ways I never thought it would. We need to talk." His tone shifted from authoritative to vulnerable, revealing feelings he'd kept buried beneath layers of discipline. "Sure, I'm all ears," I replied, but my heart raced at the thought of what he might reveal. He sighed heavily as he glanced around, ensuring we were alone. "You're right to be curious about my service. It's part of my life, and it's not just a box I can check off. I have things to face, things I've kept hidden to protect you." A chill ran down my spine. "What do you mean? What happened out there?" "Some things are better left unsaid for a reason," he replied, trying to brush it off. But I could see the walls closing in around him, a fortress of guilt and regret. "Uncle, I'm not a kid anymore. If I'm going to be your family, I need to understand you, and all of you," I insisted, courage spilling from me as my frustration mixed with concern. He paused, searching my eyes as if gauging whether I could handle the truth. "Okay, but know this, there are demons that you can't unsee once you do." His voice trembled slightly, and I felt my heart tear at his burden. "I'm ready," I affirmed, each word solidifying the commitment I felt toward him. He nodded slowly, as if he were readying himself to unleash a storm. There were moments in combat that haunted me, decisions I made, choices that cost lives. When I came home, I bottled it all up, thinking I could keep it from affecting you. "Uncle Jack, No, he interrupted firmly, but with a gentleness that surprised me. "You need to hear this. Leaving the battlefield was supposed to be a fresh start, but the weight of it has only gotten heavier. I've tried to distance you from that pain, but every time I push you to excel on that court, I see it. I see the cost of pushing myself too hard. I see your potential for triumph clouded by my mistakes." Tears pricked at the corners of my eyes as I absorbed his words. The burden he had carried felt heavy enough to crush us both. So it's your past that's holding you back from fully embracing this? Yes? He sank into silence, an oppressive quiet that enveloped us. The past echoed in the shadows of the gym, weighing us down. But we can face it together. I want to support you like you supported me. You've taught me resilience and fighting spirit, I said earnestly, my resolve steadying. He looked at me, hope dawning in his otherwise stormy eyes. You're right. We've fought our battles separately. Maybe it's time we face them as a team. In that moment, a new bond solidified between us, one built on trust and understanding. The journey for both of us wouldn't be easy, but it started here, within the walls of this worn-out gym, among the echoes of our shared struggle. As we returned to the court, the promise of tomorrow loomed larger than the shadows behind us. Finally, as I prepared to step into that jersey, I realized it was more than a piece of clothing. It was a symbol of our truth, a commitment to confront the darkness together. With my heart racing and new determination flaring within me, I turned toward the camera, ready to share this journey with you all. If this story resonates with you, if you believe in facing the battles that define us, then hit that subscribe button. Join us as we uncover not just the coaching or the game, but the richness of our stories and the power of understanding and healing together. I can't wait for you to be a part of our next adventure.